Welcome back to the Zach Jellab channel, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing very well. Joining me today is Joseph Tomlinson. How you doing?
Yeah, good man. I'm good.
On the other side, Doogie Critchley, back like you never left. Welcome. How's things?
Clapping myself.
Yep.
Yeah, delighted to be here, Zach. Thanks for having me on.
And we've got a debut here.
Yeah.
We've got a debut. Huge. Moses Dockrell, how are we doing?
I'm all good, man. I'm all good. It feels good to be here. Good to be here. I can't lie.
Welcome. But for the next hour, we are against each other, and you guys at home will be voting in the comments for who you think performed the best in today's 90 minutes. Probably won't be 90 minutes, but still. It just works because it's football. And basically, as you can see, of course, this video, we will be talking about the team of the season, going through each position and making our team of the season, and you guys will be voting on that. But before that, I've got one question to start us off. Rank 1 to 5 on who will have the best football career of these players.
Ooh.
Amad Diallo, Lamine Yamal, Desiree Doué, Michael Olise, and Bukayo Saka.
It's got to go down there. This is tough.
It is. Welcome to the battlefield.
Okay.
Got Mo, man, bottling it on the spot.
It's his first time.
All right.
His first touch
All
of the
right.
ball. He's got having his first touch of the ball here.
All
We've got to
right,
let him go. Okay, 3, 2, 1, reveal. Yamal, Elise.
Saka at 5.
Yeah. Saka's at 5.
Saka at 5.
Big call.
Wow. Do you think Diallo's going to have a better career than Saka?
No, that's not. Was that the question?
That was essentially, that's the
No,
question.
because
yeah.
I was just looking at it from like right now as what we've seen from right now.
And how is Saka that low then?
Saka is. That's why it was mad for me to put him at the bottom because I believe he's a very, very good player. However, if we look at moments, the big moments that have happened in his career so far, couple penalty misses, haven't won the league either, haven't won any trophies. That's the only reason why I've put him.
But
here.
neither's Amad.
But yeah, that's true. But I don't know. There's something about Amad Diallo that
Neither's Elise or Doué.
Alice is
Elise's
potentially
about
going
to win the league.
Doué is near enough won the league, no?
Yeah, he's already won
Yeah,
it.
with PSG. Yeah, that's the reason
Already
why
won
he's
it
up
on
there.
for a treble.
But the future of Saka's so good, though, isn't it?
It
really?
is
Like,
if he doesn't stay at Arsenal.
No, what are you talking about, man? This
I
guy
think he
could
should-
become an
I think-
absolute club legend.
I think he should leave Arsenal.
Ah, come on. This guy could become a one-club legend at Arsenal. He's already on track to be the next, obviously, arguably, Lamine Yamal is going to overtake him one day, but like most effective right winger in the world right now.
But do
once
you
Salah
do
steps
you
away.
think that he can win something at Arsenal?
Absolutely. They could win the Champions League this season very, very comfortably.
Comfortably.
don't know about that.
Comfortably.
Currently 1-0.
Crazy.
1-0
When's this video coming
down.
out?
This video go out on Monday.
Yeah, they could still turn it around against PSG.
They could,
I think it's
they
totally
could.
in the realms of
I
possibility.
think he'll undoubtedly win big trophies in his career for sure. He's already had a massive
I don't
impact at
think at
England
Arsenal.
level. I think Saka's got to be higher than 5th for sure.
Come on.
The only
I'll
reason
put
I
him
had
fourth
Elise
highest.
above him.
You can change if you need
was-
to change. You can change if you want to
I'll
change.
put
Elise is a starter, arguably probably their best player this season at a bigger club than Arsenal that are guaranteed trophies every single year. He's also part of the
Over
French
Bayern Munich,
national
though.
setup that I think could really, look at Doué, look at Dembele, look at Elise. The French national team, there's a better chance of Elise winning major honours with France than Saka with England, I would argue. I think Yamal's got to be top. The only concern about Yamal is
Does
the amount of
Elise
games he's
start
playing
in
this time.
France? Does Elise start in the French team?
Yeah, he probably will going forward.
I mean,
think.
he's been in the under 20.
21s for a long time, yeah.
Obviously, went to the Olympics with France as
But you
well.
don't keep that sort of talent away from the first
He's
team.
gonna be in the first
But the
team,
right
yeah.
winger is Dembele.
Yeah, the
left wing is Mbappe.
He'll still be in the discussion, and they've got a better chance of winning major honours than England consistently, I would say. Doué, I think at 4 is probably fair enough. Like he's not a guaranteed starter right now. Looks so exciting at 19. Could still win a treble this season.
More than so exciting.
Yeah, like
More than so
Yeah,
exciting.
it looks brilliant. Amad's got
Electric.
to be 5th for me.
Electric.
Amad's got to be 5th. Look, on the basis of what he's done so far, on the team he's playing for, no offence to Man United, but they're just not the same level of these.
He is
sides
special,
right now.
though. If he was playing on a better team, Ahmad, I'd have him higher on the list. I think if Ahmad was playing at a team that was challenging for major European honours, his actual skill set could be so high. He's so effective.
But would he ever be higher than, say he's playing for Arsenal, would
Yeah.
you have him above Elise, Doué, Saka?
It's
Yamal?
hard to say because contextually right now they are so bad and he spent the last 4 months out injured.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I think the slight difference I've got to be fair, me and you,
No.
we got Elise higher than Doué. But I think that's also because you're the only one with Elise lower than Doué.
Yeah.
Why have you got Elise lower than Doué?
I just think Doué is going to be like an absolute.
But is he not going to get branded with the PSG tag?
I don't know.
Oh, he's doing it at PSG.
It's just a toss of a
big
coin,
PSG
really, isn't it?
hater as well.
I mean, they're both insane level talents. I just prefer to watch Duo right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Elise's a freak as
Elise's
well,
amazing.
though. Like just because we're not seeing him week in, week out, we were seeing him doing it for Palace last season, the season before, and he was absolutely ripping up the Premier League
I think
Yeah, but I'm watching Duo rip up the Champions League. Didn't see
when he
Elise.
comes off the bench.
Elise had a
at
very
least
good
at least
job.
had a good Champions League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not in the Champions League
So
semi-final right now. is he?
Due has been doing it more so recently because Barcola was starting ahead of him, right? But now it looks like he's eclipsing Barcola a little bit, but they're both still quite young.
I mean, we're arguing apples and oranges.
I don't think it's outrageous for you to say that you.
I just
prefer
personally
Doué
prefer
now.
Duo as a footballer.
Yeah.
He is very Neymar regen, isn't he? Like
Yeah.
he does look like the closest thing that we've got to a prime Neymar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well there you have it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. On to
Hateful
the
that
team of
was.
the season. Okay, kick things off, guys. Goalkeeper. Who is your team of the season for goalkeeper?
It's only one man, isn't
It's
it?
happening.
Oh, I've already seen
How-
me and
just-
Joe are different.
Let's just preface this. How many Liverpool players is Mo going to get?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they did win the Premier League.
Points clear,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
This is ridiculous.
Wow.
Wow.
is
Okay.
genuinely-
I mean, he hasn't even started that many games.
That's genuinely ridiculous, to be honest.
It's not who's the best goalkeeper, because obviously
Raya.
Alisson is the best goalkeeper.
Sales has been quality, though. I'll be real. My FPL, unreal. Unreal, my FPL.
But Alisson's been in and out of the side because of injury.
I hear
Would you
that.
really have him this season?
Yes.
Okay.
He makes a huge difference, doesn't he? When he's in goal.
When he's in goal, yeah, he does make a massive difference. He's a massive presence, and I think he instills some kind of confidence. Not to say that when he's not playing, that there's no
Kelly.
confidence, but it's Alisson, though, isn't it? You know what
He's
I'm saying?
definitely the best goalkeeper in the league, as in
Yes.
like generally.
Quality-wise,
I
yeah.
agree. But I think for this season, Sels has made such an improvement for Nottingham Forest. Obviously, he came in last year, and Forest obviously didn't finish greatly. But this year, he's been huge for them. And you know what's fantastic for him? He's not being asked to do things he can't do. For instance, like he's not playing a team where going, oh, you got to play the ball out. You got to use your feet here. Distribution's got to be key. He's just an unbelievable shot stopper. He's kept them in so many games this season when they have almost been losing. Obviously, look, Forest lost yesterday to Brentford when we're recording this. It'll be interesting to see whether they get Champions League football in the end. But I think he is one of the big reasons as to why Forest are where they are this year. Like they've won games at times 1-0, 2-0, and he's kept them in these games quite a few times this season. Raya over here.
Raya.
Yeah.
I actually think Raya's had one of his worst seasons since being in the Premier League this year.
No. They've conceded 29 goals. Like the defensive unit is just clearly the best in the Premier League. It's probably the best in Europe, and I think Raya is an absolutely massive part of that. His ability to come and claim crosses takes so much weight off of the entire back line that set pieces are never an issue. He's constantly playing out of his area, really good on the ball, and we can talk about Matz Sels. You know, he doesn't get asked to do too much because he's a great shot stopper. Raya is asked to do loads. He's asked to do loads in that defensive line. His presence
Quite
is
a few
amazing.
mistakes this season.
Yeah.
Has he?
Yeah. Most recently.
When? We're against who?
Oh, whose game at Arsenal recently where Raya screwed up? I'm telling you.
I can't really remember. I remember
off the
one
top
in
of
the
my head,
Champions
but I know
League
exactly
early
what you're talking about, but
on. It's not
I
coming
can't
to me.
off the top of my head. No.
I could also remember some huge double saves in the
Villa
Champions
game.
League.
And Villa at the start of the season, he had that as well, where he made that huge
But you
one.
can offset that, can't you, with some of the best saves we've seen in the league this season. Think of the double saves at the start of the campaign in the Champions League as well. He's pretty exceptional. I just think overall, Raya has been the best goalkeeper in the league from a
Palace.
wide-ranging standpoint.
Literally Palace this week and just gone. Mateta's goal.
Oh, yeah.
Scores from outside the
Oh,
box. That's quite poor from Raya. In the, I know it
Dink.
I know it's given away in defence.
Are we
get
being
it.
serious?
I
The
think-
Dink
I
is-
think
you're
it's not great
blaming
for him
him.
either.
It's quite harsh
We're
to
blaming
pinpoint
Raya
like
for
a
the
couple
mistake.
of-
I think you can definitely have a blame to
The
it.
game's gone if we're blaming
I think
Raya.
Sels has made less errors, I would say, as well. I also wanted to reward like a Forest side that no one predicted to be even in contention for Champions League football
very,
this season.
very
I wanted to get a few members of that defence in particular. It's quite difficult to get midfielders and attackers in from Forest, I would say. So that's why I went
for
with
sure, but
Sels.
we can't just sandwich players in that aren't as good as other players because they've had a good season.
No, but
with
it's
an
not
under-
about
with
who
an-
is. It's not
Over
about who
performing
is a
club.
better
It's
player.
about
Like, obviously,
doing
David
it.
Raya is a better goalkeeper than
And has
Matz
had a better
Sels.
season.
But who has had a better season? I think you can
right.
make a strong case for Sels. In the same way that yes, Arsenal's defensive unit is brilliant, but if you're going player position by position, which I'm sure we'll get into, I think you can leave a lot of Arsenal players out personally.
I
No.
think Sels had a better. Like the there is also sometimes a level right where the expectation, like no one had an expectation Sels could perform this well. there is an understanding that Raya is a good keeper. Like he's a great fit. Arsenal got him for, and I think he's performed okay this year. Like, I'd say his season.
he's been very good.
I think his season last year was better than this season.
I'd have Pickford, Raya behind Sels.
Okay. On to right back. You know, you've got
I'm
a
gonna go
cat
for
back and forth. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Aina.
I was thinking
Munoz.
about him.
Timber. Did he just do an
I
interview?
think-
Are you
with
sure you're a United fan?
I am, but I think we've got to respect the best defence in the league.
Objectively.
There's no doubt about that. And I think Timber's all-round game is maybe... It's one of the strongest right-backs in Europe right now, Jurrien Timber. Like, you look at, like, Hakimi as well, Koundé, fantastic. I think Timber is in amongst that list right now. I think he's that good. He's been unbelievable in a defensive way. And in forward areas, he's definitely improved.
Has he been as good as Ben White was last season?
Yes. Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Really?
From a defensive standpoint,
I think on the
I don't
ball,
think he
though,
links
that
quite as well with
partnership
Saka.
is not,
It's not flowing.
why Odegaard Saka last year was sensational. I don't think Timber, Odegaard, and maybe that's down to Odegaard having a poor season, Saka having injury issues. I don't think it's
Well, let's
flowed
not
as
forget
naturally.
Odegaard's missed 3 months of the season. Saka's missed
sure.
3 months of the season. So when they haven't really had a huge chance to gel as a trio in a continuous manner in the same way we saw
I'd also
White,
say
Odegaard and Saka
he's had an
every week.
amazing Champions League. I'm not saying his Premier League performance has been bad whatsoever, but if we're factoring in Champions League, I can see why you've done that. Like against Vinicius Junior, I thought it was unbelievable.
Munoz and
quality,
Aina have had amazing seasons, but they're not as good as Timber.
But it's not about who's the better player.
I agree. But Timber wasn't playing last year. So if you're saying he's a better player now than Aina, what is that based on?
Quality. As in, like,
So he's had a better season then?
Timber is a better, as in, Timber has more quality to his game. He's obviously a better player. He's playing for Arsenal. These guys are playing for Forest.
He didn't
and
play
Palace.
last season. So this season, if you're saying he's been a better player,
but you put
Raya
Raya in goal
play
not
before
based on
this
that.
season. It wasn't like he just came out of
Raya
nowhere.
in goal is based on the fact he's the best goalkeeper in the league this season.
But then that's the opposite of what you're
Don't
saying for
you say
Timber.
about
No, he's been the best right back in the league this season.
I don't
See,
think.
but so I would say Aina's been
I
the best right back.
I think that as well. Personally.
Contextually, like no, come
Nottingham Forest were above the relegation zone last year. Ola
Yeah.
Aina, they gave him an extra 1 year contract. Okay, he's played some of the
been
games
brilliant.
at
He's
left
been
wing
amazing,
back,
no
and
doubt.
he's genuinely been one of the best right backs in the league.
Yep.
Like, it wouldn't shock me if if a team higher up, if a Man City or whatever, go into this summer looking to try and get his services. He's a little bit older. He has been absolutely outrageous this year. Can play right wing back, can play left wing back, can play full back.
1v1 defending, unreal.
1v1 defending is
brilliant.
absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
He can go. He can also on the attack as well.
Has his
such a good
1v1
job.
defending been as good as Timber's?
Okay, probably. I'd say no. Probably not. Has his attack been better than Timber's?
Toss of a coin.
I think there's a strong argument for it. I think
I think
Aina's
it's strong
good
argument for both.
I think I went Munoz because I think he's been exceptional for a Palace side that have really, they got to an FA Cup final. They were I think fourth for points won between October up until recently when they had a very mini blip. I think he's been a brilliant attacking weapon for them in a side that lost Alisson, lost Joachim Andersen, so much change. I think he's been one of their outstanding players along with sort of Wharton since he's come back from injury. Mateta's had a great year as well. I think Aina's a very good shout. To be honest, if I didn't have Munoz, I'd have Aina.
That's what. I'm exactly the same. I don't know. Timber didn't really come to my mind, but you're right. He did have a very good season.
He had a good season.
He's been great, but
More than great. So what's his right-sided centre-back next? Because we're doing positions.
right-sided centre-back. Right? Yes, indeed. This is, of course, the right-sided centre-back. So you can't, in this instance, be putting Van Dijk at right centre-back. He has to go under left centre-back. Yeah. My other idea for this guy is Forest's centre-back.
I'm going to be taking powers in the comments here.
Okay,
full Arsenal.
3, 2, 1.
Come on, man. See, my one was gonna be Saliba. This is also a very, very good shout as well.
Maybe I'm a
It was
bit
between
hipster.
him
I
and
don't know. I think Milenkovic,
But
for
they
a
have-
£12 million signing, I think he's made an enormous difference.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he's been brilliant.
They
In
have.
terms of nuts and bolts defending, obviously Saliba and Konaté, better on the ball, better to watch, more smooth, etc. But clearances, headed, ability, Milenkovic has made such a massive difference. I think him and Murillo have been sensational together. Konaté, I think, has had an underrated year as well. I think Saliba's had more errors in his game than usual. I would say.
That's why I said what I said.
I don't necessarily disagree. I think I would have been very close between Saliba and Milenkovic. The reason I've gone with Saliba is largely down to a similar sort of vibe my other thinking, that I just still think
Arsenal had the best.
Van Dijk is probably the best centre-back in the league by distance. Arsenal have had the best defensive record in the league. The unit as a group, we have to put respect on this Arsenal defence. The forward line hasn't worked this season, and clearly that is what has cost them probably a league title and might end up costing the Champions League. But defensively, we've got to put some respect. Have you had an Arsenal defender yet?
Not yet.
Just wait till my next one. Just wait till
Maybe
my
I
next
will.
one.
Maybe I won't.
I actually think we also though have to put a bit of respect on Konaté.
Thank you very much.
Because
Have you had an Arsenal defender yet?
I wait until my next one. Because Konaté, I think at times has always been someone that was, everyone thought he was a good player, had injury problems, wasn't always consistently there. At times there was battles between Matip and him, and Matip would be the guy that comes out on top. This year I really feel like he stepped into his own. There are still sometimes issues, and I'm not going to say that he is the best centre-back out of him and Van Dijk, but I feel like this year he's just gone about his game
He's been
so easily.
reliable. I think that's the most important thing that we have to remember here, because as you said, he's been injury prone for pretty much the whole time he's been at Liverpool. But this season, I've looked at Konaté and been like, okay, I can trust you.
He's become a man this season.
Exactly.
He's really become like a man.
And it's not just defending as well. He's been clipping them passes that Van Dijk would do from the left-hand side, but he's doing it from the right. So I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, you've got a different... Because at first I was going to compare him to like Ibrahima Konaté, who was a little bit of like a bozo-ish. Got the bozo gene. But Konaté, he's just kind of...
He's leveled it up. And also, I think you mentioned it there, Saliba's not been as good this year as he was last year.
No.
He's dropped off. Saliba last year was the best centre.
Gabriel has been better than Saliba this
But we
year.
can't put Gabriel.
We'll talk about Gabriel in a minute. But Saliba has not been as good as Konaté this season.
I
and
think it's been a toss of a
Milinkovic...
coin. And at the end of this, if none of you have got a single Arsenal defender or goalkeeper in your back 4 or 5, it's a joke.
Worth saying as well, by the way, Milinkovic, I
On my
agree.
Twitter feed yesterday.
Great signing. Been really good this season. He has conceded the same amount of goals as Chelsea.
Who, sorry?
Milinkovic.
Yeah, but he's playing for Forest. Like
Who the whole season everyone's been saying is amazing defensively.
Yeah. But Chelsea have been much better defensively this year than last year. Yeah, like compared to last year.
Statistically, definitely, but compared to last year.
I don't think that's a massive shock.
Defender in?
No, I'm putting Gabriel on my next one, Joe. You want to hear that one? There you go.
You're putting Gabriel over Van Dijk.
Yes, I am.
Left side of centre.
Yes, I
Hang on, let's have a big reveal.
Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen in the comments, the game has gone. What has happened here is Zach has lost his head, realised he's not put a single Arsenal player in the back 4,
can show
and
you.
now he's not going to put Van Dijk as a centre half.
I think Gabriel's been the best. Get it over, get it done. Yeah, perfect. I'm the only one, Gabriel. There you go. I think Gabriel's been the best defender in the league this season. I completely think he has. Yeah.
Why?
I really do.
Why?
I think he has gone from this guy, and we're talking about, again, we're mentioning what we've seen in previous campaigns to now. I think he has stepped up so massively in this Arsenal
Joe's
side.
lost his head.
He's gone to something. Yeah, he does this every time. He's become somebody who is the reliable one of the duo at Arsenal's defensive partnership now. And that was always Saliba. It was always Saliba. And this year it's become Gabriel. I remember before, we talk about Gabriel sometimes thinking like, he's a really good defender, but every game he has one moment where he can make a mistake.
Yeah. 2 years ago now,
Now, doesn't happen.
No.
Doesn't happen. He is a bully. He bullies strikers. Erling Haaland had his number. So he had Erling Haaland's number for the majority of games this season when he's come up against these guys. Most of the strikers, when they've come up against Gabriel, and the same can be said for Van Dijk, for sure. But I feel like Gabriel this season, we've seen him really take it to the next level. And I genuinely think they've both been on par with how good each other has
So you
been.
say it's a toss-up between
I think it could be a toss-up. Like, I don't think you guys putting Van Dijk are like that crazy at all.
It's not a toss-up.
I think Gabriel's just been incredible this year.
It's not a
I
toss-up.
think this year with Robertson taking a big drop off, Trent's had injury issues, there's been a new midfield in front of him. Van Dijk has strolled through this league.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's made it look so easy.
Yeah.
And Liverpool wouldn't be 15 points clear without Van Dijk playing this well. They just wouldn't. Because they haven't been as dominant going forward as they have been in previous years. They've been really defensively solid, get ahead in games, see it out. And Van Dijk's been a massive part of that.
I think if we could have Gabriel on the other side and we were playing a little bit cheeky,
Yeah,
we had
of
to
course.
play
Yeah.
two left-sided
If we're being-
centre-backs.
if we're being
Now we'd
cheeky,
play
yeah.
Gabriel and Van Dijk, but given we can't, Van Dijk has to be in this team. I cannot believe you haven't got Van Dijk.
No, genuinely. I'm not even just doing it for the video.
So
I swear to God.
clearly the best centre-back in world
I
football.
think Gabriel's been incredible.
Bro, come on.
You were just sat here being like, we've got the best defence in the league, Arsenal. Oh, my
That's
three
why I've got
centre-backs in the
3
league.
Arsenal players in the back
And that's why
four.
I've got Gabriel there. Genuinely, because he's been unbelievable this year.
And he's been... You're
You're
genuinely...
just,
would-
genuinely,
I would
genuinely, you know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? I genuinely think Gabriel's been better than Van Dijk. You know what it is? Joe's met Van Dijk and just fell in love with him. Smelled him. He smelled it. To this day,
smells great.
to this day, he said it's the best looking man he's ever met. That's why.
But it doesn't have any bearing on the fact he's had clearly a better season.
It's
than
not.
Gabriel.
It's not
He's-
clearly a better season.
It
It's
is.
not clearly a
I
better
think
season.
90% of people would say
I think-
yes, clearly.
I think so.
Gabriel's
It's been
awesome, but we are watching the
outrageous.
centre-back that could arguably define the last decade of the Premier League.
Yep.
We're watching the centre-back who is a clear contender for the greatest Premier League centre-back of all time, playing on a level that we first saw
So
probably
is
2 or
this- so
3
you're
years
saying
ago.
this is Van
He's
Dijk?
as good right now as he was 2 or 3 years ago. I think
Yeah,
this is
so
arguably
you're
his
saying this is
best
Van
season
Dijk.
for Liverpool.
Oh, Wow.
I think it's an argument to be made. This is his best season for Liverpool, contextually.
No. That's a different argument. I
think he's been brilliant.
I think he's been very good. I just think Gabriel's been very, very, very good.
I'm shook.
Waffler.
Arsenal got conceded 29.
29.
And Liverpool's conceded
32,
32.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm just waiting for your guys' Arsenal defender, yeah?
Yeah, don't worry about
Because you
that.
still haven't had an
Don't worry
Arsenal
about that,
defender.
mate. Don't worry about that.
I'm going to have a bit of fun with
got
this
left
one.
back.
So I presume you both go Myles here.
I know who I wanted to choose, but I've gone a different direction.
Okay.
I've got a different direction.
3, 2, 1. Yeah. So 2 Myles Lewis-Skelly.
what's happened here
2
is-
Robinsons.
I've backed Mo into such a
You ain't
corner.
backed
he's
me
had
nowhere.
to put Skelly, despite the fact he's only played 1,000.
Skelly.
Why Lewis-Skelly?
Skelly is unreal.
No,
You know,
he
there's certain players that you look at, right? I only need to see about 5 minutes of you, what you can do, and you just realize that this person it can be a world beater, even though he's a midfielder.
Yeah.
Right? He's a midfielder.
Yeah, he is.
But playing left back, as was he 18? He just looks like
Man.
a grown man. Like some players try to take him on. He just puts his arm out, drives, going for. You see the passes that he put into Martinelli? I know it was Champions League, but the pass he put into Martinelli for him to then obviously miss the 1v1. But it's like those kind of things you don't expect from an 18-year-old centre mid that's playing left back. He definitely has a shout for being one of the best left backs in the world this season.
I think
you know what?
in the world.
Yeah, in the world, I think so.
One of the best left backs in the world. He's played
one
1,000 league minutes.
Doesn't
One
matter.
of it doesn't-
That's just took Arteta time
You know
to
what?
find him.
You know when you saw
Nuno
like
Mendes
Yamal
is
when he
so
was like a kid kind of thing, and he's like, okay, yeah, this guy. You wouldn't say that he was the best in the world, but he said he's going to be
Yeah.
one of the best in the world.
Lewis-Skelly's
I
been
think
amazing, but he did make his debut in late September.
But
Didn't
what is
start
that-
in the
what is
Premier
that
League until
100%
November time.
What does that 100% matter? November's not
Because
that,
Robinson's
not that
played.
far away.
10 games.
Robinson's been involved in
For
pretty much
12
every
games.
game. I
And
think he's got the
featured in others.
most assists in the league for a defender. I think his defensive work has been.
He's got 10
phenomenal
assists.
as
Yeah, he's
well.
been great.
Yeah,
I think he's been outstanding.
He's been-
If he was 3-4 years younger, I think he'd be the guaranteed Liverpool next left back.
Completely.
Yeah.
I think there's actually a few, like Kerkez was another option.
Kerkez
Could
is
have
another one I
said
think
as
of,
well.
yeah.
Like I think this is actually one of the positions where you could have multiple choices. I just think we're forgetting how young this kid is. He's come from the academy. Nobody at the beginning of the season thought Myles Lewis-Skelly was going to be playing for Arsenal and now be starting for them in the semi-final of the
been
Champions
great.
I
League.
agree, and I think he's been a monster. But I don't think you can pick a player who's got 1,000 Premier League minutes in this in a seasonal best 11.
Why? Why not? Like people later on might want to argue.
If there was
Because
no
you were
competition,
arguing with
but
me that it's
Robinson's
not.
been amazing.
Because you were arguing with me earlier that it shouldn't be based on the best player. If we're doing this in the best player, then I think Myles Lewis-Skelly has the ceiling level to reach that. But right now, as we sit here today,
who's had the better season? Like, of course, the numbers wise, he's got 10 assists, like Robinson.
Yeah.
But I'd also say the way they play slightly, Robinson is going to always maybe get more assists because he's putting in that
Yeah, they
final
designed
ball,
their
right?
system to
Whereas
do it.
Lewis-Skelly comes into midfield. He's maybe the pass before the assist, right? That's what he's done, and he's gone into this team and looks. People before might have said Calafiori maybe not been quite a good signing, actually, not quite worked out for them. Zinchenko is still playing left back. We're coming out of this season and go, oh my God, they've got their left back.
Yeah, it's
here.
been probably the best
Unbelievable.
thing about their season, the emergence of Lewis-Skelly and
so you
Ranieri.
think
But
just to bring this back to point, you think
Well,
that
it's-
Lewis-Skelly, you didn't pick Timber in the right back role.
Yeah.
So you think Lewis-Skelly has had a better season at fullback than Jurrien Timber?
Yes.
I think no, because that's putting words in the mouth there. Because Ola Aina,
position by position.
You think
can't-
Ola Aina's had a better season than Antonee Robinson?
that's not
That's
how this
not-
works.
You're not
That's
comparing
not
right
how this
back.
works, Joe.
I am, because
It's
I'm
not.
saying Antonee
You
Robinson.
don't have to have an Arsenal player.
You have to have an
I
Arsenal
don't
player
think you
in
do.
the back
I don't think you do. You've got to do it position by position. You're not picking a unit. If I had to pick a unit, I'd obviously go, I'll take
Arsenal's
Arsenal's
defence.
back five.
Yes.
But if you go through individually, I don't think it's an outrage to have no Arsenal players individually. I just don't think it is. I think you guys maybe slightly panicked and put Lewis-Skelly in there.
I didn't
Yeah, they
panic.
panicked.
I'll be real. I didn't
They
panic.
panicked.
I'll be
They
panic.
Mo panicked.
I swear I didn't panic. I'm a big
The
supporter of
closest for
Skelly.
me is Timber. I mean, I would be happy to put him in at right back. I think Sels has had a better year than Raya, and I think Gabriel over Van Dijk is a crazy shout,
insane.
like sectionable.
But it's all right.
But I think Antonee Robinson has to be the left back.
I'm okay. Look, again,
That's fair.
Let us know.
But
in
I
the
think Lewis
comments.
Skelly's been a revelation this season.
Easy panicking.
I think
Jellab's
you guys
become
are going-
reactive. Jellab came into this with his 11. He's become reactive. He's already changed 2 players. He's changed Gabriel.
Right.
He's already changed Myles Lewis-Skelly.
Well, thank you very much.
He's honestly. Yeah, he's also out on that doc. He's got Raya written down.
Are you going to tell me Kuka hasn't had a good season?
had a
Thank
great
you
season.
very much.
He had an alright season. I can't
Because
lie.
I think
Top five.
Lewis Skelly's had a better season than Kuka.
Are we going DM by the way?
DM is the next one.
Did I spell his name right?
We don't judge. We don't judge in here, as long as it's roughly the same name. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh,
As a DM.
Just what he's played most
Well,
of the season.
yeah, he's not wrong. Okay, I mean,
We can count as an 8, can't we?
We've got
Fine.
2 Gravenberches, 1 Tielemans, 1 Caicedo.
I mean, Tielemans has got to be in the 11. It has to be in the 11.
Why? Why does it have to be?
Just in terms of his all-round performance in that Villa midfield, he has just been an absolute mastermind, mate. He's created the most chances of any central midfielder in the league this season.
But it comes down to different
We're
things.
not counting
Like, it does
Tens
come,
in there.
but that's what I mean.
It's insane. He's broken the game up unbelievably well. His vision at passing through the lines is insane. He's been Villa's best player this season. And if we're going to have, I'm going to see shouts for Morgan Rogers later, etc. Tielemans definitely deserves to be ahead of Morgan Rogers for me in terms of a Premier League 11 this season.
Well, we'll get into that later.
I think.
I mean, Mo, you've got to talk about Gravenberch. What a season.
Gravenberch's season. The turn, first of all, can we talk about that turn that he always likes to do? Just let it roll across.
It's unreal.
He's just trademarked that, to be honest. And the reason why Gravenberch is in here for me is because last season he wasn't really in and amongst it, right?
Not at all.
He was also injured as well, but he wasn't really, I guess, rated as much. Slots come in, he's put him in, and he's been an absolute world beater. Yes, I think there's been a drop off because he played like pretty much every single minute of every game this season. But from start to pretty much the end, Gravenberch, I know you got Caicedo in there, he's been really good and immense, but Gravenberch technically, tactically, like, it's not his job to get the assists and whatnot, but everything else, clean up, he slotted in at centre-back as well. He's slotted in wherever he needs to slot in, and it's just been so...
Under slot.
Like, literally, in the slot machine. So,
I mean, Liverpool wanted Zubimendi, they wanted Caicedo.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Gravenberch arriving as this amazing 6, I think it could have been a very different season. And
Yeah.
they are 15 points clear as we film this
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
We do need to reward quite a few Liverpool players in this 11.
100%.
For sure.
I can tell you now, I'm not putting Palmer in later on. I felt like Caicedo this
must have
year
hurt.
has gone in underrated.
Yeah.
I genuinely think
He's
people
been great.
have not looked at Caicedo's performance this year.
true.
I think he's actually been punished at times for that really poor period for Chelsea. He was still Chelsea's best player in midfield. I think you've seen him grow into what we really liked about him at Brighton when he'd win that ball back all the time. He comes out of tackle sometimes, and I genuinely think, how have you got that ball? How have you won that in that 1v1 duel? Or at times a 2v1 duel, he's come out on top. I do think he is slightly punished for the fact that he's been part of a team that have been so chaotic, and I think that's at times also cost him defensively. He has to make more. He has to make challenges that get him yellow cards.
Yeah.
He's always at times having to deal with counter-attacks when Chelsea lose the ball high up with possession. I genuinely think if you'd swapped Caicedo this season for Gravenberch, he'd been even better.
yeah.
I think he's been absolutely outrageous
That's fair.
this season. And if you look statistically as well, like he is doing
the
better
leader.
than Gravenberch in all of these midfielders or DMs here. Just because he's playing in a Chelsea side that I think people aren't as keen on, doesn't mean I think he should be not getting the respect he deserves, because he's been outrageous this year. Genuinely, probably the
I know what you mean.
DM.
I don't think there's a bad chance.
I don't. Mine's not really a traditional 6, so I can kind of bow to you. The way I've looked at my midfield is more of a flat 3.
If you had a
So,
traditional 6, which of these would you go for?
Good question.
Gravenberch, yeah, this season. Yeah.
Zach was expecting a different answer.
But it's close. It is close, but yeah.
I just think it's because
Mine's more of
Gravenberch won the Premier League.
But that should
that's
be
what it is.
rewarded. Like,
I think, but Caicedo has also been better on this one.
think
3,
we're all
2, 1. Yeah.
love him. Love
Yeah,
him.
he's been amazing.
He's been the best midfielder for Liverpool, I think, this season.
Yeah, I think that's fair
I
enough.
think he's underrated.
I think that's fair enough.
Because obviously, Gravenberch's had a very, very good season as well. But McAllister, some of the goals that he scored and his technique is unreal.
What a signing.
Positional awareness.
Ridiculous.
35 mil. Oh my god.
Mad.
I actually think as well he
God.
stepped it up from last season. Like I thought he's pretty good
Definitely.
under Klopp, but
Yeah.
this year he's been
Yeah.
elite.
Yeah.
Man.
Can do everything.
Genuinely can do everything.
I
as
put
well.
it on Twitter last weekend. If it wasn't for Salah, I think he'd have a very good shout for Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I think he's been that good. And
but
in a
there's
year where there
myth-
hasn't necessarily been that many outstanding individuals, like going across this team so far, maybe Van Dijk, maybe Alexander-Isak, I think McAllister would be right in the shout.
Never goes missing as well, does he? He's always there in every game,
Always
basically. Like, whereas I think sometimes people have Szoboszlai, for instance, people might comment and say like, "Oh, he
Szoboszlai could be
can't do
upgraded,
enough."
I think.
But McAllister,
has
absolutely
to.
outrageous. Okay, so this one is more of the attacking midfielder of the trio. FIFA people might call it a cam.
Mine's just totally different to that though. I haven't done DM, CM, AM, so
Well,
it doesn't really fit this narrative.
Considering I said this is what we were doing from the start.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. So I'm gonna have to explain this a little bit. My actual pick is Bruno G here. If I'm allowed to play my flat midfield three, because Tielemans isn't traditionally a 6 and Bruno G isn't traditionally a 10. But if I'm not allowed to pick my Bruno G and I have to pick an AM, then I take Bruno Fernandes.
This is crazy. It feels like coding or something.
Okay. I get what you mean.
Cunha playing centrally.
Yeah,
Cunha attacking midfielder.
Okay.
Because he's not a striker, is he?
But he kind of lines up as a striker and then drops in.
Does he play as a striker?
he plays as a second striker in one of those two
Okay,
teams.
okay.
That's my thinking here, really.
I respect it.
I think Cunha this season, he's going to be moving to Manchester United, it looks like.
Yeah.
He has been absolutely outrageous. He's been the jewel in a very dark, rough crown.
Yeah.
He's been absolutely fantastic. And there's an argument you play him left wing. I think that's also fair enough. I want to suggest someone else for left wing later on. That's why I've put him in. I feel like he had to be in my team of the season.
Yeah.
He is... I do find it interesting what he's going to be like when he plays in a supposedly a better side, though they are going to be finishing maybe a place or two above Wolves this season. But it is going to be interesting how he plays in a team that is going to be more ball dominant. It's going to be wanting to kind of maybe put him out on where he doesn't receive the ball as much as well. Like if he's playing with Man United, it's all going to go through Bruno, who I think has had a very good second half of the season. Because I think there is an argument to say, because if you're saying Bruno Fernandes now, I think there's an argument you could say Cole Palmer for the first half of the season. Who started off
obviously, like recency bias does come into it. It's like you know the fact that Palmer hasn't scored in 15 games or something, that does obviously affect your judgment there. I think just Bruno Fernandes, like if you take out how bad United have been, I actually think it's even more impressive what Bruno Fernandes has done once again. Like the striker's not being able to finish any of the chances he created is not down to him. He's created the most chances in the entire league for a side that are 14th. I think it's a crazy campaign.
Crazy.
His best year yet at United, despite the fact of a slow start.
Have you got Cunha in your squad later on?
No.
Oh, so you flat out think Bruno's been better than Cunha?
Yeah, I think I do, yeah. I think it's 17 goals and assists for a terrible United side. I think Cunha's been brilliant.
But Wolves are worse than United.
Wolves, when he was suspended, did very well. Not saying that's not just purely like Cunha's out, will do well. But I think he's had discipline issues. I think he's had a great year, but I don't think it's I didn't have him in.
Okay. Nobody's got Bruno G. Oh, I've got. I
would have put him attacking mid, didn't it?
Like Bruno G might
as an
be
8,
more...
because
he was against McAllister.
Yeah, and he's been immense though.
I think Tonali's been brilliant as well.
Yeah.
That's why I went for the flat 3 rather than the DMC-MAM. Like Bruno G for me, just every week is just an 8.5 out of 10.
So
like, he never drops below that level.
So if it was him or McAllister, who'd you pick?
McAllister.
And if it was him or Gravenberch, who'd you pick?
Him or right? I didn't have Gravenberch. I had Tielemans.
Sorry, him or Tielemans?
Probably Tielemans.
Okay.
But it's a toss of a coin, those two.
And
but
then
those three
him or Bruno?
Bruno G has had a
Fernandes.
better season this year, I think.
Fernandes.
Yeah. But Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely ridiculous by my marker. Like I think he's put up 35 goal involvements across all competitions this season, which is just eye-watering, absolutely staggering numbers.
No, it is great. I do feel bad for him sometimes. He should be playing.
He's made a mockery of everyone last year who was like, Bruno needs to go. Bruno needs to go. Like if Bruno wasn't in this side, Man United could have been relegated.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Eze, because I think we should give him some flowers.
Yeah, Eze was an emotional pick, as we know, because the first half of the season he wasn't necessarily doing much, but second half of the season, I think he just shows like his technical ability and how he just that Crystal Palace team in general right now is really flying. Obviously with Mateta, we could probably get onto him later on as well.
Yeah.
We don't know, but Eze is the real driving force within that team, kind of similar to how Bruno Fernandes is the driving force within United, just that Palace are looking a lot better than United right now. Sorry about that. Would you agree? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, as a unit, they definitely better well drilled.
And it's quite interesting that he's obviously still at Palace. I don't know if he'll be there next season. They couldn't lose Elise and Eze in the same season.
I think he'll still be there.
You reckon?
Yeah, I don't know how it goes from now.
So
Spurs maybe have always tempted him.
With tens. I think he's responded in some big games as well. He's been amazing in the FA Cup. He had a great game against Fulham, great in the semi-final against Villa.
Some of the goals that he scored. Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's go to our right winger. We could probably keep this quite short.
Yeah.
Are you sure, mate? You're not going to put Saka here, are you? Like you did with,
Aren't you the guy that wants an Arsenal player in every single position? I thought you were the Arsenal fan, aren't you? Mo Salah. Well done, lads. Yeah.
The question I'll ask you lot in regards to Mo Salah. So right now this season he's got 28 goals and 18 assists, right?
Yeah.
With 4 games to go.
Yeah.
If he breaks the assist record, would you say it's the best individual season in Premier League history?
He's won Liverpool the Premier League.
Absolutely.
Because
he has.
we have to take into account, obviously, Ronaldo 2008.
Yeah.
Thierry Henry 2002, 2003.
2020.
Yeah.
De Bruyne, 4 years ago.
I think that was 20.
I think it comes
20,
just down to what you prefer, right? Like, do you prefer
Do you prefer numbers? Or do you prefer like
the
aesthetics?
aesthetic, right? Like, 'cause that's the thing. He never wins against Henry, does he? In the way he looks. People, that's always they're always complaining about that, and that Henry's maybe the better aesthetically pleasing footballer.
There's also slightly affected by the lack of drama in the title race as well. It's brutal, but like it won't be remembered as a great Premier League season, and so Salah might not get the credit he deserves. But I think it's got to be right in the discussion.
It's in the top 3.
Yeah,
It's got to be top 3, innit?
top 2.
Because Suarez, 2013, 2014 is up there. I know I'm mentioning
if he didn't win,
but-
if he didn't win,
It was
that's
amazing.
the thing.
It was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's tough. I think, let us know actually in the comments which one you prefer. Striker is this one. So again, I think this is actually quite easy. No.
Yeah.
It should be.
Don't want to be accused of bias.
Yeah, well done, fellas.
Yeah,
you mentioned there Mateta, second half season's been
Mateta,
pretty good.
Because this is when you say it's his second season that he's really like showing something. Probably
Looks like
better
he's
than
in
last
prop
season.
like that's him. Chris Wood, obviously, was unbelievable.
deserves a shout.
Erling Haaland in a poor City season still scored a ridiculous amount of
I
goals.
think it was 21 or something.
Yeah,
21 and 28.
outrageous.
That's ridiculous.
But it is easy.
It's like,
He's,
I think all around footballer and the goal scorer, he's better than.
Won their
Would
first
you
trophy in
prefer-
70 years as well.
Would you prefer, just in your team, so the Mo team, the Doogie team, the Joe team, would you prefer to have Erling Haaland or Isak as your striker?
What, in a dream scenario?
In your dream scenario, you're a sport director, you've got unlimited money, you can buy whoever you want. Would you prefer Isak or
I can,
Haaland?
for some reason, imagine Isak and Salah linking up better than Salah and Haaland. Salah and Haaland just feels a bit clunky. I mean, it's a toss of a coin, isn't it? They're both brilliant strikers. I prefer watching Isak.
I think Haaland would get onto the end of a lot of the crosses that
You
most
still go
Salah put in.
Haaland, don't you? Like, does Isak score 30 plus in the league?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, in this
he
side.
can do.
Yeah.
he can
Okay,
do.
interesting. Well, that's what my thing about Haaland,
Oh,
definitely.
Yeah.
has.
Yeah, he's that
with
guaranteed,
Isak.
isn't it?
Isak can do that.
Okay, cool. Again, let us know in the comments. Left winger then, the final position
this
before
is
we
really
get into
hard.
manager of the season. Final position here, fellas. I need to put this guy in because
This is really hard.
we haven't spoken about a single player from this team. Let's see who we've got. Rodgers, Gakpo, Cunha and Semenyo. I like this, guys. We've got a
we've
few
got to mix it
different
up.
options here.
Got to mix it up.
I'm going to kick it off with Semenyo because we haven't spoken about a Bournemouth player this year, and Bournemouth have been outrageous. Semenyo, if you're not going for Dean Huijsen, who I agree isn't going to get ahead of Gabriel or Van Dijk, Semenyo's been the other outrageous player for them. He's tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season, but so have Bournemouth as well. Semenyo, this guy we got to remember is someone came from Bristol. He was a striker. He's played right wing as well. He's played attacking midfielder. He's played a striker for Bournemouth. But left wing is where he's probably had the majority of them. Well, they are quite split, so you can put them either right or left. But I think we need to talk about Bournemouth just because of how great they've been this year. They needed someone represented in my team. And I feel like really, I don't know, I put Cunha as my attacking mid, so I could also understand him as well. And I think both these guys have been fantastic. But Semenyo, no one expected this. No one expected this guy to have come into the Premier League and perform to the level he has. And he's caused a lot of teams so many different problems down that left flank, or through the middle, or the right flank, whatever it might be. And even when he's had to have different partners, whether it's been Evan Nilsson, whether it's been Ouattara up top, he's been able to flourish in this Bournemouth side fantastically. And it wouldn't shock me if you see him picked up by a club this summer.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I could see it happening quite easily. So for me, it's Semenyo. I'm also not against, to be fair, some of the other shouts.
Yeah. I mean, Rodgers he's more of an attacking midfielder, but he does play on the left
You
often
see,
for them as well.
people keep talking about him as a winger. Like you've seen the
Well, he
reports
plays
about
as like they've
people
got those sort of
looking at him.
inverted tens,
Yeah.
don't they? I think he's been absolutely sensational. Aside from Lewis-Skelly, probably like the outstanding emerging English player this year. I think he's been absolutely brilliant and looks like a surefire pick now for England going forward. I know there's so much competition in that position as well, but the way he took to the Champions League as well made that look so easy. I think he's been brilliant. And I wanted a Villa player in there as well because, yes, they've been up and down a little bit, but I still think generally, if I wanted Tielemans, I think he deserved a shout-out as well. But Rodgers, I think, has been immense.
Yeah, it was between Rodgers and Cunha for me. I've just gone Cunha because of the sort of actual output in that forward area. I don't think there's an outstanding left wing candidate. I don't think there has been one player this
one of the
season that I
weakest.
look at in the left wing and think
not like
he is
Salah or
the
something
best
like that,
player in that position, flat out. So that's why I've gone for that output.
I'm interested why you went Gakpo over Diaz.
Yeah. Reason being, Gakpo started the season very, very well. And he was kind of interchanging between up front and left wing because Nunes hasn't necessarily been great up front.
Definitely not.
But I noticed the change within Liverpool when Gakpo got injured, in a sense, right? Because Diaz hasn't really been firing. There was a period where he wasn't firing, when he was a bit like... So Gakpo, aside from obviously Mo Salah and, we had McAllister, Van Dijk, all the core players in our team. When Gakpo left, then Mo Salah might not have been doing as much. It felt like there was no one else we could really look towards. Essentially, Diaz was working hard as he always does, but he didn't have that kind of edge that Gakpo did at the beginning of the season. Of course, got injured in between there, and he was trying to get back into fitness. So that's the reason why I put Gakpo in there, mainly because in a team that's won the league with 4 games to go and 15 points clear, as of right now, he was one of the standout players within that team. And as we said, the left wing position this season hasn't been outstanding.
Scored some important goals for Liverpool as well. Some
his relationship with Salah, that pass to the back post, Gakpo's come on steaming in.
Exactly.
No, I think it's fair enough. Okay then, lads, the final one is just going to be Manager of the Year. I kind of feel like this is quite simple, unless there's a rogue shout.
There isn't a rogue shout.
There are other fun shout outs, aren't there? But
there
it
are,
is.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
was just teasing.
There you go.
But there's been the discourse online about people saying, "Oh, he done it with Klopp's team, and it wasn't his own team."
Oh,
I think that's even more impressive, to be honest.
He's done such a good job, man. Like, nobody expected it to start.
No.
No one had Liverpool in there, even second.
No.
The
in
only
their
player he brought
predictions.
in is Chiesa, and he's played about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He
Literally.
might not even get a medal, Chiesa, as well.
I think he's got to play the last 4 games. He has to.
Let's ask the Liverpool fan, because we might as well. What's more impressive? Slot doing it in his first season or Klopp's first Premier League win?
I want to say Slots.
Wow.
Reason why I say that is because Klopp's last season. Klopp's last season. Klopp's last season, we finished 4th. Was it 3rd? One of the two. But everyone was saying, myself included, that we need a refresh. Like everyone, well, Salah's not going to get 20 goals in the season again. Van Dijk's looking off it. Trent's not looking great. Robertson is flipping.
Gone.
And then Slots come in, same team, obviously instilled confidence within certain players like Gravenberch. And to win it this convincingly, I know everyone else has been off it as well, but the point tally shows you as well just how incredible we have been this season compared to other seasons as well. So
But
yes,
that
it was special. It was special.
I think
but it was COVID as well.
But it was only second half of the season COVID. The first half of the season when there was fans
We
in the
were
stadium and stuff,
still
I think you
so many
I
points
think
clear.
you'd
Yeah.
It's like
won
27 games on the season.
yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. And won 26 of them maybe.
Slot
It was
went 26
unbelievable.
games
But
on
no
Amazing,
one
yeah.
expected it. Like it wasn't out of the realm to think that Liverpool could win it there. They'd been battling with City for so many years.
Losing by
No
1
one
point.
had any
Yeah.
expectation.
Yeah, but
Liverpool
also
would do it.
that was part of what made that win so good, is that they were battling with Manchester City.
Yeah.
And also they hadn't won a league title in going on 30 years at that stage. So Klopp got them over the line, built the foundations.
Yes.
I think that has to be put it ahead of Arne Slot for me. I think Arne Slot's done an amazing job, but Jurgen Klopp.
I think that team that won the Prem 2019-2020, that was like the prime of all of our players, essentially. And Klopp did build that. He brought them in. Like, they did a lot of scouting and brought them in. But Slot had them in the back end of that, where everyone said they're rubbed and it's finished, essentially. And Arsenal's been a team that's been up there. City always been up there. So to do it when even Liverpool fans weren't even predicting it, because some of us were predicting that we will win the Premier League with Klopp, just from what we had seen with the battle that we've had with City.
Yeah.
But no one saw this coming. And we had fans in the stadium. And we got a parade on the 26th of May.
And
going?
you were there?
I will be there. For sure.
Well, lads, thank you very much. For those of you at home watching, please let us know in the comments below who you think argued the best. Why not get your team of the season down there as well? Who do you agree with? Who do you disagree? Where would you change? Let us know in the comments below. Do you Critchley's people at home want to check you out? Where can they go?
Just Doogie Critchley on all social channels.
No? Where can they see?
Moses Duckrow on all social channels.
That, of course, will be all linked down below. Joe Tomlinson, yourself,
Same, yeah.
linked down below as well. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, get in the comments. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye.
Peace.